Hello, so now it's on the live in Instagram here today for us to discuss a little bit more about how to increase your case acceptance, Invisalign case acceptance. I'm going to wait a little bit more for Dr. Jacqueline Schneider from Well Clinic to join us, and before that I'm going to explain again how it's going to work. I invited 3 doctors, 3 good friends and 3 DSD Masters for us to discuss a little bit more on how we can improve patient experience and how can we optimize case acceptance. So Jackie is entering. I'm just waiting a little bit. Hello, Jackie. Connecting. Here she is, Dr. Jacqueline Schneider. We call her here Jackie. I believe she's more famous with Jackie. Jack is better.
Jacqueline Schneider is too serious.
Yeah. Dr. Jacqueline Schneider is like my boss at Well Clinic. Now is a colleague, Jackie. Yes. So, Jackie, the goal today, and I invited you, Jesus Creagh from Spain, and Peggy Bown from Canada, for us to chat like in a very informal way about everything we have been doing to increase case acceptance from the patients. Of course, the goal is for Invisalign, but feel free to talk about everything, about our specialties. And I would like you to introduce yourself and to talk about I choose some specific topics, but you can talk about everything you want. You are free here to talk everything. So I would like first, Jackie, to understand at Well Clinic, an interdisciplinary clinic, how our workflow or interdisciplinary workflow help to increase the perception of the patients about the need of orthodontics, and how exactly is that workflow, and also you are in charge of presenting the planning for the patient, if you have some tips about it. So and anything else you want to mention for those doctors who are joining us now live.
Okay, so first of all, I would like to thank you for the invitation. For me, it's a pleasure and to be here and share a little bit what we do in Well Clinic here in São Paulo, Brazil. Also, it's a very good investment of time in this period that we are facing in, that is sharing. And that kind of put us in the right place of what we need to be doing during this time, maybe to bring all of us, humanity, in another level. So let's use wisely this time that we have off, not completely off. Yes. So first of all, I'm Jacqueline. I am the clinical coordinator with Robert Coachman in Well Clinic, and I am in the team of Well Clinic for almost 4 years now. My background is I'm a dentist specializing in restorative treatments, prosthodontics, but I am conducting my career to be a general clinician. So this is my goal as a career. And for this, I have the help, and he's my mentor, that is Robert Coachman. And this is what we do in Well Clinic. Our clinic is specializing in interdisciplinary cases. So we have all a complete team of specialists that with us, under our coordination, we conduct our cases. Of course, we have also simple cases, but as we are well known in the city of solving complex interdisciplinary cases, this is the most look for from the patients in our clinic, okay? I got to know the family and the clinic when I was as a participant in the residency 1 and 2 that happened in São Paulo for almost 5 years ago with Christian Coachman and the DSD team. And Robert found me there back then, and he saw my eager to do different and really change the way of doing dentistry. I really wanted to do everything that I was seeing, not only the planning, but I also would like to do all the clinical procedures guided by this planning. This was my goal. And Robert allowed me, and he, with Christian, they kind of opened the doors of the clinic for me to try to do everything. That was really a privilege and a gift for me that I didn't say no. So I said, yeah, let's do it.
This is a kind of opportunity it's impossible to say no, correct?
Yes, yes. So this is what we are doing from almost 5 years now. The clinic is the first DSD clinic in the world. Who is seeing this video and doesn't know what is a DSD clinic, is a clinic that embraced all the philosophy, all the concepts of the digital smile design in a way of planning, executing and maintaining the cases, also the marketing ideas, and also the management of a clinic. So everything that we do now in Well Clinic it's planned and thought digitally. Yeah. And that's why we build a body of specialists that believes on our ideas, and that think that dentistry it's in digital and there's no turning back. So of course it's not, in the beginning it was not an easy path. It's very different, the way of doing, especially the way of planning. We need to think in a different way to do digital. So we do this in all cases. So if we have two types of situations, I think, in an ortho way. There is the orthodontist that works alone, and he receives cases, and sometimes he sees the needs of other specialists to work in the case. And there is a situation that a general clinician, or if he is alone in his clinic, or he has an interdisciplinary clinic, all the specialists in the same room, and he receives cases that has the need of ortho during some parts of the treatment. Both situations, the DSD, the 3D planning can be applied and can increase the value of the planning, the quality of the planning in clinical execution, and also the communication with the patient. Before, in our case, that we are an interdisciplinary clinic, and we have cases that most of them has the need of moving teeth. Before using the 3D technology of planning, it was much harder for us to educate our patient, especially the adults, and more than 50 years, that he would need to do ortho treatment. Especially when we were doing the conventional and everything. It was very hard to convince them of the need. And in many cases, they try to dissuade us to do the treatment without ortho.
Yeah, just interrupting very fast here. We as orthodontists understand in those cases, interdisciplinary cases, the patient most of the time look the clinic for the aesthetics fast, yes, as fast as we can do it. And ortho is a problem because it takes time. Yes. So the patient don't want ortho.
They don't want, and they don't see the reason why to do. Because before having the tools that we have now of a 3D planning, and I have videos showing that if I put the final restoration with the tooth in that position without moving, I would have to prep too much healthy tooth. And without showing this, the patient cannot understand. It's a completely other language that we are trying to make them understand. It's like trying to talk Portuguese with a Chinese. it's like it's impossible to understand, a completely different words. So the technology and the 3D presentation that we have from the planning center, using a software that combines different specialities to design the final of the case. With this on our hands, I have information and the possibility to educate our patient. So they see, if they prep a little bit, if they move a little bit the tooth, I wouldn't have to prep almost nothing of his enamel, and especially I wouldn't achieve the dentine. So for the healthy of his smile is much better. Also, when we need to treat functional cases, and we show them how it's going to be the movement, sometimes how fast it's going to be, and how easy it is with the Invisalign technology. Also, the possibility of having an almost invisible device on their mouth that they can remove in small situations, and it's much better for me and easier for me to make them understand the need, and then they will accept. So in my experience of presenting those cases, and I'm not orthodontics, but because I live in an interdisciplinary field, I kind of I can show to the patient the need, especially now with the tool of the 3D technology. And then with that, and showing them with a mock-up the potential of their smile, how they can have a very confident smile in the end of the treatment. And for this, they would have to pass through 6 months, 8 months with ortho. For us, we have an increase of 50% of acceptance of ortho, doing and using the DSD concepts of planning.
This is I just about to ask you, the good thing about this live Instagram, that sometimes during the conversation we can change path and ask something different. And I heard sometimes, one time Christian mentioned that about 74% of the cases, the restorative cases, could benefit from ortho. And I was very happy when he mentioned this, but just right after, he mentioned that usually only 20 to 10% are diagnosed. From that, only 1% ends up treating orthodontically. In your experience, after Invisalign and having the possibility to stay in the digital workflow, because the old version of orthodontics, we have a barrier that sometimes we stop the digital there, but with Invisalign integrated with the DSD is possible today. Do you think those 20 to 10% are different today? This is what you mean now?
Yes, because now the patients, they can understand and they can see the need. I think this is the life-changing. The patient didn't agree before because they were not seeing, and the team of, especially the restorative, because we can solve many things with restorative solutions. Many times our eyes, they were not ready and not trained to see how ortho could make our work better and easier, especially a better result for our patient. So,
Jackie, there is a question for you here from one doctor. What kind of software do you use in the clinic? Explain a little bit about this DSD.
Okay, so actually I outsource this planning. I plan with a center that has they work with more than one software, but the main software that the DSD Planning Center work with is the Nemotech, and it's a software, a platform that they can plan different specialties in the same case. So if a case to have that final result needs ortho, needs veneers, needs ortho veneers and crown lengthening, or needs orthodontic ortho and restorative, we can plan everything in the same digital platform. And then after that, we can manufacture guides to do every step of the treatment. And in the case of the ortho, we have a collaboration with Invisalign, and our planning, our final planning is shared with Invisalign, and they manufacture the aligners based on our project. So while Clinic doesn't work with a software of planning, I outsource that with the planning center, the DSD planning center.
Perfect, perfect. And this is, in my opinion, as the orthodontist of Well Clinic, the best platform possible for me to understand what the team wants, what the team is planning, and to give my opinion, to give my professional opinion on how can orthodontic can help in that situation. So Jacqueline or Dr. Robert, but nowadays mostly you, correct? Who
Yes.
are going to present the case, the plan to the patient. She'll have all the information necessary for her to sell the treatment, sell our idea.
Yes.
And for me, it's great because as orthodontist, I hate to sell. So most of the time, Jackie do this for me, but I work before having the clean check. I have to analyze everything and provide her to the moment that she's going to present the case, to be ready, to understand what the art is going to be.
Yes, actually the flow, talking very fast because I know you have other guests, is
you have 5 minutes, but okay. It's a good conversation.
Patient arrives to the clinic, to the first appointment. I collect all the data that I need to have the planning. So there are some pictures, video, intraoral scanning, and the CVCT scan. I send everything to the DSD planning center. With them, I plan the final ideal smile and occlusion, functional and aesthetics. And with this information, I start asking direct questions to the team of specialists of our clinic. So I share with Danielle, that is our ortho Invisalign doctor, that I need the teeth in that position, how he can do it. And then he gives me back his feedback, his clinical feedback on how is the mechanic involved, how many months he thinks it's gonna take. And so he gives me some, if we need scalectic anchor or not. And I also have the center specialist. So if I have implants involved, I'm gonna show to the surgeon where I want the final tooth, and then I show the CBCT scan of that area, and then he gives me the direct feedback on the procedure, the surgical procedure involved. And I do this with all the team. With this information, me and Robert, we design the final treatment plan. And with all this in our hands, I build a presentation to the patient, and we have some journeys of the second appointment with the patient. So the beginning of the journey is the emotional journey, is where I show to the patient the potential of their smile doing the mock-up. And then I start the problem journey. That is when I show to the patient everything that is happening, everything that needs to be fixed. And then we enter into the solution journey. That is when we talk about how we're going to achieve that final result. Everything that's going to be involved. How much time is going to be involved. And then finally, we go to the financial journey. That is when we present how much it's going to cost to achieve that final smile. So basically, this is what we do in all first and second appointment in interdisciplinary complex cases.
Perfect, Jackie. Perfect explanation. And for those doctors who are watching us, and probably a lot who are going to watch later, this live is going to be live for 24 hours, but we are going to put this video in YouTube later. Those doctors that want to be like you, a person who centralize and who like to be the center of this treatment planning, how can they learn more? How can they train themselves to do this? Because it's not fast and easy path, you need to understand about a lot of things. What's your tip? There is a course. What's the best DSD course for them to do it?
Okay, so I wouldn't miss the DSD residency 1 and 2. This is the initial path. Okay. Because it's where you learn the concept, you learn how to do a very good first and second appointment, how you can communicate everything that your team knows to do it. So most of the dentist teams, they are very good doing what they do, but they don't know how to pass this to the patient. There is a technique to do this, and we can learn this in the course. The residency 2 is when the participants will experience how we do everything clinically. So how Perfect. We go to the planning, to the clinical procedures guided by this initial planning. And after also, we have a DSD coordinator course that we just started doing, and we're gonna have more dates in September and October if everything goes well with the world, and it's gonna happen. And the DSD coordinator course is where we teach to the backstage team of a clinic that is really who is gonna do the hard work, how to make this digital workflow happen on a daily basis in your clinic. So I think with these 3 courses, you can start implementing those ideas. I say that the digital workflow just make good dentists better. So yes. this is the goal. It's not a magical tool. It's just to improve our abilities.
Yeah, I totally agree. Jackie, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciated your participation. I'm sure everyone did. And thank you very much. Let's call together Jesus, that probably is watching us. As soon as you leave the room, Jesus is going to enter and invite you to participate, because he's very good, and I believe he's have a lot of excellent tips.
Yes.
Bye-bye, Jackie.
He's one of my mentors in my career.
Oh, good. Nice.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Well, as Jack is leaving, I'm waiting. Oh, I already have Jesus here. He's very efficient, and I'm going to put him in trouble, because he's very expertise in photography, and his presentations are visually crazy. And now I'm going to put him to give kind of a lecture, a chat without any slides. So it will be hard for you, Jesus. Jesus, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here for us to use our time to improve ourselves, and maybe we are helping some colleagues to do the same in this time that everyone is at home. We didn't prepare anything. I told Jesus is very trained to do a presentation perfectly, but I told him earlier this day, oh, it's a chat, informal, let's see where it's going to end. But I have some points for you, and then I'm going to leave for you to talk any specific topic you want, okay? But what I would like to hear, it's about the ambience of a clinic. How do you work your clinic to receive your patient? Because we know that case acceptance is not at the moment that you present the case. The patient is observing everything. So what do you do in your clinic to create a good environment for the patient or client? Some tips about photography, of course, and videos and everything. You work with Mastery, and some tips about for us who lecture, but it can be used for anyone who are going to present a treatment planning. Your tips for a perfect presentation. Can you talk a little bit more about this with us?
Okay. Hi, Daniel. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for this invitation. It's a pleasure to stay here with you. If you don't know who I am in Spain, in Seville. I am general dentist. One of the things that I am more happy now is that I am DSD clinic. I am
Nice.
DSD KOL and DSD Master. So I am general dentist. I finished my studies at the university in 2000. So I've been working for 20 years, and I love to do everything in the clinic. So I am general dentist. I love to do my ortho, my surgery, my prosthesis, my all the cases. I don't understand the dentistry just only in a single point, just only one thing to do. So it's very important to understand the full treatment plan of the patient in the beginning, and then decide which is the best area, the best treatment that you have to order to the different people of your equipment. No? Now, you asked me about the ambience. How do I think that should be the ambience in the clinic? It's a good question, because since we are a DSD clinic, that's one of the points that we have been changing more. Many times we go to the office, we go to the dentist. The first impression that you get when you go to a new place is going to be the 80-90% about the final decision if you're going to repeat or not, because it's very easy to go the first time to a place, but to repeat, that's another question. So I think that I'm going to tell you some tips that I think that are very, very important to take care about the waiting room and the reception area in the clinic, because remember that when the patient is the first time that comes to your office, it's not the first time that he has contact with the office, because you in the beginning they are going to check your website, they are going to maybe to send you a mail, maybe they are going to call to the office to ask about some information or to book an appointment. And it's very important to take care about all those small details, because you only have one opportunity to get the first impression, and it's very important. So one of the things that we talk more when we are talking about, especially in DSD clinic, I recommend to the people that you should improve your waiting room and try the patient feel as if they were at their home. So many times you say, okay, why is different? Why we love to go to a spa? We love to go a 5-star hotel. It's because you feel really, really good, and you feel you have the same feeling that when you're at home. Take care about the small details, about the smells, what aroma you have in your office. Try to control the lights. Try to the indirect light. Sorry for my English. Okay, the indirect light is very important. Try to not very shiny the room. Maybe more dark. Maybe with as most comfortable as possible, because try to not to remember the people negative previous experiences that they have. So we know that welcoming ambience makes your guests feel happier and safer. It's very important about the music that you have. It's very important to select the music that you have when the people enter. You say, oh, this sounds is really, really cool, and sometimes people start to move, try to dance with the music, so you can feel just only watching and looking at the patient that they feel comfortable. So other thing very important is try to keep it fresh. Imagine in the reception area, you should have fresh flowers. Imagine once a week, send amazing and conscious message for the patients. Some fresh fruits, you are saying to the patient that you are in a healthy place. imagine you put some snacks, but not industrial snacks. Imagine that you write. 1 hour ago, we have been in a webinar with Christian, and he talked about. Imagine that you write a paper and you say, okay, this is. We have prepared. We have bought these cakes just only for you, or maybe a tea box, a beautiful tea box, or maybe how. That's first impression that you imagine that you're going to meet with a lady your first time, and you try to put well dressed and everything is okay, but try to do the same with your patient, because that impression is very important, no?
Like a first date.
Yes,
that you concern about everything.
Imagine that with all your single patient, the first appointment is very important. Take care about all that small details. Try to talk with your staff about this. Try to explain all of them how important is that appointment, because you are going to stay with that patient maybe a few months or a few years or all your life, many times depending on that first impression. So try, for example, don't mix buyer personas. For example, if you are focusing in kids, try to be focusing just only in kids, but not with adults, because many times if you try to combine all of them, it doesn't work. Try to play sometimes with the light, with the curtains, with the ceiling. It depends how high the ceiling is you have in your office. Try to buy furniture instead of office furniture. So try to feel that you are not in a dental office. That's the most important thing that I recommend to do.
Yeah, those tips are very valuable, because sometimes we think that the patient is making his decision about doing a treatment or not when we are explaining the technical part, but the decision is being made much earlier when they they call to the office when they first enter. And there is a place
emotional decisions.
Yes, for sure.
Because we know that people that many times we ask how that guy's really success. We know that sometimes, imagine, I know I am better dentist, but I know how they have more patients than me. We have to think in that way. How feel the patient when they come to the office, the feelings and the experience that they have. And one of the most important things is that the ambience. Imagine, for example, as really simple things, the Wi-Fi code that you have. Imagine that some now we need a Wi-Fi connection in every place. Imagine that it doesn't work well. You have to restart the router. There are many things we have been talking about this afternoon, and there are small details that many times we don't take in consideration because we should sit in the same place that the patient is going to be, and then decide, okay,
exactly like that.
What are looking my patient? So go to your sitting room, stay maybe half an hour, 1 hour, and try to see all the things that patients are going to be looking while they are waiting. If going to do a treatment, or maybe who is going with the patient, and you are waiting in the room.
Yeah, very good tips. Let's talk a little bit about photography, because talking with you and not talk about photography is a waste of time, in my opinion. And let's enjoy this time that you are together with us. We have a lot of doctors entering. And what you can say for some doctor who wants to enter in the digital? He needs to buy a very fancy and expensive camera, a lot of material. Give us some reference, some tips about this topic, please.
There is a sentence that I love, that is not the arrow, it's the Indian. Okay, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know.
It does. So in the first appointment that we are talking about, as you know, I am teaching about dental photography for many years. In 2007 was the first course that I have about dental photography, and since nowadays I have teach 144 or 45 dental photography courses. So now I think that now we understand what's happening with the photography. And in the beginning, as you know, I have my big dental studio, the big with big photography studio, and I love photography. I love portraits. I love dental photography. And in the beginning, I used to do the really full and complicated protocols in the first appointment to the patient. And when I started in DSD, one of the things that I learned with Christian, and he told me, the intraoral photography are going to disappear. I was really confused and really crazy. I said, that's impossible. But after going to many residencies with Christian, and all of them, I learned different things. I have changed many things in my daily practice, because in the beginning I used to spend a lot of time recording phonetics video, casual videos, portrait photos, intraoral, extraoral, artistic, many pictures. And sometimes the patient, they say, okay, I'm not going to do the treatment with you. And now I have a lot of photos, but I didn't have the patient. So one of the things that I have changed is you don't need a really sophisticated equipment to use in the first appointment, because our target in the first appointment is try to digitalize the patient. So when we talk about digitalize the patient, we have to we should take all the information about the patient. Take I'm going to explain you what photos and what video we need when we are doing this with the patient in the first appointment. But you can do with, if you want, with your phone. Now intraoral scanner, you can use a screenshot of the computer, and you have the same information than intraoral photography with best experience to the patient. So now in the first appointment, I'm not doing intraoral photography. I'm doing the snapshot of the intraoral scanner. We are going to take 5 photographies, extraoral photography, frontal, rest with the lips rest and big smile, and lateral, okay, big smile and rest. Then we are going to take the 12 o'clock photo. Is going to, like this. You're going to smile and try to see the teeth from canine to canine, okay? Then we are going to record a video. It's very important. Remember that we all our cases are planning with the digital smile design principle. So we need the dynamic analysis of the patient. So to prepare the dynamic analysis, we need to record a video and try to get a big natural smile in the video, because when you say to the patient, okay, smile, you do like this, but it's fake. It's not the natural smile. So when you do a video and you stop the video, you're going to get the best natural smile that we are expecting to do the diagnosis. So we have taken the 5 photos, the video, and the intraoral scanner. If we have that information with a CBCT scan, we can plan all the options of the situation of the patient, because we have all the information.
And Jesus, do you think it's possible for those pictures to take with the iPhone or a smartphone, or is better with a camera?
Sure. If we are doing that in the courses, and we are doing the cases with their phone, with your iPad, the most important thing is to have the information. So in the beginning, if you don't want to complicate with really sophisticated equipment, the most important is to have the information. So you can take with the phone in the beginning, you can do with the iPad, or in my case, I love photography, so for me it's really fast and in a simple way to do with my professional equipment. But the most important thing, first appointment, take the information, and then if you want to and you are in education and you give some lectures and you are preparing articles to the magazine, so you can do with the professional equipment. But now, in my case, I do with professional equipment, because in my case it's really simple, and that's what we teach in our courses. Not only about professional intraoral photography, that we are fed up about all those photos, but it's more funny, emotional photos to prepare the emotional presentation to give to the patients.
Excellent. And Jesus, for us to finish, because we have Peggy Bown from Canada waiting.
Yes,
and,
amazing doctor. Peggy.
Yes, and once you get all this information, all this digital information, Your tip for a good presentation, a convincing presentation, an emotional presentation that makes the patients really get involved with the treatment that you are proposing.
Okay. Now, for me, that's the most important thing. In our practice, the only way to communicate with the patient is with some images, maybe with a very, very short video, no more than 1 minute. So we, in all the second appointments, after to digitalize the patient, I prepare a very, very cool video, and I'm going to explain you step by step what things you should put in that video. First thing, before your actual situation, your current situation, you are now, this is you, okay? After this, I'm going to show the video of the actual situation close to the photography, frontal smile, big smile photography. Then I'm going to show the 2D design, okay, with the lines in the face to explain that we have been talking about, and we have been doing a design, a facial analysis, facially driven of the patient. After that, we are going to include some photo of a panoramic, okay, to show that we have been studying not only extraoral, we have been studying extra and intraoral the case. And after that, we are going to put together the mock-up photography with the the actual situation. So the most important thing in the video is not to show small dentistry details. Okay. So in the beginning, we used to explain the screw, the crown, the implants.
The patient doesn't want to know in that moment.
They
correct?
hate that. They want to say, okay,
yes.
Before and after, show me my face. I like, I don't like. So
this is good to show to dentists, not to patients.
Yes, yes, because our quality control for many, many years has been, okay, what's the quality control that you usually do in all your treatment? I like, I don't like. That's the quality control. But if you don't finish the treatment, you don't know if you like or don't like. So now with doing in digital all the treatment, it's very easy for us because step by step we are going to do the quality control. So it's very important to follow the initial project, and now we can show it to the patient and we can explain that from A to Z, step by step, we are going to follow the initial project. And that's the most important thing in this new modern dentistry, in my opinion.
Perfect, Jesus. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time, for joining us in this chat here. There is a doctor asking.
So it's a pleasure.
Oh, yes, thank you. There's a doctor asking for your profile on Instagram, and I invited you to type in the comments as soon as you leave the room.
It's my name. Yeah. You can put my name and okay.
And now
Jesus Creagh, that's me.
Yeah, that's him, exactly him. And thank you so much. I'm going to call call now Dr. Peggy from Canada to join us. And I invited you to stay in the room to watch her. And
remember, stay at home, okay? Stay at home.
Yes,
outside.
Absolutely.
Now we have to take advantage of this. And I'm going to, before finish, I recommend you to try to write new ideas, how to improve our daily practice. And now we have the opportunity to have all that time that we always are thinking, I wish I would have more time to do this. Now we have the time. Yes. Now is the moment, and try to improve and put in order all your ideas. So that's my recommendation.
Perfect, my friend. See you soon, I hope. Stay safe. A lot of washing hands.
Yes, for sure.
Let's pass with this together. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Okay, guys and girls, and now I'm waiting for Dr. Peggy. I believe she already asked to join us, and I'm going to add her to the conversation. Dr. Peggy Bown, who I met for the first time during a DSD residence in Brazil, our clinic.
Hi.
How are you, Peggy? Thank you so
great.
much.
Thank
to
you,
be
Daniel.
here.
Thank you.
I mentioned correctly your last name, Bown?
Yes, Bown,
Okay,
yeah.
good. Thank you. Well, I'll let you introduce yourself, but Peggy also is a DSD master. He's a dentist and he's working very hard for the last years to implement the digital in her clinic. You all should follow her in the social medias because her work is amazing. And today I'm going to ask you, but it's an informal chat here.
Sure.
But I really would like to hear from you about your experience using DSD and Invisalign, about also Propel acceleration that I know that you use sometimes, and about the new DSD TPS. There is the way that the planning center can help the doctors inside the clinic checks, like a collective intelligence, because a lot of doctors think that the TPS is like giving away the responsibility, but no, this is a way that you can join more people thinking together in the benefit of your patient. But I would like from you, your experience, and you are free to talk of everything else, iTero, social medias. It's your time here. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you, Danielle. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Peggy Bown, and I'm from the east coast of Canada in St. John, New Brunswick. And my clinic is, I've been practicing for almost 20 years, but about 5 years ago, I branched out from my group practice and started a new clinic. And when I did that, I still didn't know about DSD at the time. But within a year, I had learned about digital smile design, and I actually started doing a lot more Invisalign. It was almost like, it's so strange. I feel like it was the perfect sort of timing. I mean, sometimes life's like that, right? But, you know, I had the clinic, and when I created this clinic, there's three things that I really knew that I just knew what I wanted, I guess, at that point. I'd been practicing long enough to know what I wanted. I knew what was coming in dentistry. And I'm always excited to learn. So, you know, that helped too, because I had done a lot of other extra courses through those years. But the three things that I really were most passionate about was to make sure, number one, that my patients, when they walked into the clinic, they realized they were somewhere different. They realized they were going to be cared for. They were greeted not just by an incredible team of people, but also just what Jesus was talking about, that experience, the sights, the smells, the care, the extra things that go into making the whole journey, from the moment they walk through the door to the time they leave, something wow. So yeah, so it was really interesting because within a year of opening, I met Christian Coachman, of course, and DSD and the whole DSD team, and I was like, wow, I think I was sort of meant for this because I had already kind of created something very similar, and I knew it was important. And I'll tell you briefly why. Is because when I was a little girl, a similar experience happened to me where my mom took me to a new dentist, and the change or the whole experience was so dramatically different that it actually not only made me want to make this clinic and practice this way, but I actually was the reason I chose dentistry. So I knew from very young age why I felt that the patient experience is so important, and I really think that all dentists should really care about that, because we need to change public perceptions about dentists and dentistry. And it's just, for so long we've been you know, just, it's been tough to change those perceptions, but I think we are getting there. And I think that when we really focus on how the patient is going to see and what they're going to experience is from digital technology standpoint, and how they're going to have treatment explained to them, is going to really it's starting to really take on. So I was really happy about that. And so I really wanted my clinic, of course, the patient experience to be number one. I knew also I wanted a complete digital workflow. So what I mean by that, for anybody who's watching who doesn't know, I wanted the technology that was available, that was going to become available,
to really bring that on and have a team that was trained that could, we could be planning things in a digital way that was a little bit more guided and very predictable and very safe, but also allowed us to show the patient what we could do before we even began. So that builds a lot of trust, of course, and also builds on that experience. And again, DSD is all that and so much more. So I thought that was incredible. And then the last thing, I guess, is just that I really wanted to, you know, have a team that was highly educated, and I've done a lot of courses with my team, and they've actually recently, the course that Jackie was talking about, they did the DSD coordinators course, which we cannot say enough about, by the way. It's really been a game changer. And although we were a DSD clinic just in the last, since September, I've been a DSD master for 2 or 3 years, and also, you know, done DSD for a while, but just becoming that clinic and then having the entire team and the workflows and working with the planning center, it's just been a whole different level. It's been a game changer. So here I am 5 years later into my new clinic, and I really feel that I've sort of, again, just fallen into this perfect sort of storm of good luck, and also worked really hard to make sure that we do sort of make sure our practice is different, and our patients are getting everything that we can offer them in the world today. And I can do that with DSD, and I can do that also because we do provide Invisalign, and we do a lot of work with either we do it in the clinic or we work with a local orthodontist to, you know, put together treatment plans that are going to help the patient understand where we're going before we even begin. And that's where the Invisalign is so important, because we are, you know, doing things to get the bite right, to get things set up so that we have good long-term success and good oral health over the long term for our patients. Yeah. So, so that's, yeah. Yeah.
I believe luck only happens for those who work very hard, correct? And you deserve it. So that's happening to you, your clinic, your team. It's not one person job, it's a teamwork. And you show this very well when you put in your Facebook, Instagram, everybody from your team, and it's very cool.
Well, on that note, I wanted to make sure that people knew who I was, so I did get into social media from the very from 5 years ago. Yeah.
Yes, and Jesus just gave us a spoiler in the comments that you are the best in using iTero. So we are talking
I don't know
here.
About that.
No. We are talking here about using new technologies to improve patient experience and increase case acceptance. So what can you tell us about those technologies that you have been using? And we don't have much time. The last one is the problem, but let's use it the best way you can. I'm going to stop stopping you.
So the first thing is, when I went to open this clinic, I actually bought my iTero before I bought my dental chairs. I knew.
You don't need to hurry.
I knew that the digital workflow was going to be critical. I actually bought the iTero. I wasn't sure how long it was going to take to get my iTero, so I ordered it before I ordered my dental chairs. That was in my clinic from the get-go, and we started using it, of course, for impressions and what dentists mostly start to think they need that iTero for. But with the newest features in the iTero tools, and I believe that, and I've been talking to some other people recently, that there are other scanners, of course. There's a lot of scanners out there, but what I find with the tools for a general dentist, the tools that we can use with the iTero are absolutely incredible in gaining patient trust, digitalizing the patient, like Jesus said. Like, we digitalize our patients. We've been doing that for almost 2 years now, and we're starting to see we can compare digital scans or digital impressions of our patients from a year ago to now and show them in real time, like actually in ways they can understand. So you have to kind of, it's a more detail it needs to go into, but you can really help educate them in a way that the patient immediately gets. Even something as complex as occlusion, it becomes very simplified for them. And that gets me so excited, because again, I'm not just enhancing the patient experience by educating them, which was one of the big things that my childhood dentist did for me, but we're also explaining it, and so that they can help make decisions in a way that they're not feeling like it's salesy or anything like that. They just know. They know that what can be done is really right for them, and they're really getting the help that they need from from someone who really understands it as well and will carry them through that whole process. So with the iTero, we actually have 4 iTeros in our clinic right now, and we have the 5D, which we're going to be launching very soon, so stay tuned for that. We've been using it here in Canada, but it hasn't been available in the US, of course. So, but it's going to blow your mind. So, I mean, what we're doing with the 5D and what we're doing with just the iTero in general, those basic tools, when used with the hygienist during what I call the new patient experience, is just a whole shift in how we are able to have great conversations with our patients, how we're able to build trust with them, and how we wow them. I mean, I go in the room, the hygienist has already show them, their iTero scan, and show them a lot of things about their mouth that they may not have seen or realized, and a big picture very quickly. And I say to them, first thing I say, once I get to know them and I say, have you ever seen anything like this in your mouth before? Have you ever seen your mouth this way before? No, I've never. It is amazing. And sometimes I encourage them to even take pictures of it with their phone, or take a little video for me explaining it, because sometimes they want to also have that understanding later on. So
that's
excellent
tip.
Encouraging that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jackie is watching us. Let's take note about this. This is excellent, because this is a material that the patient can share with his family and the social medias. Who knows?
Yeah, and even now we're even getting we're scanning teens on a regular basis, because we can show through the time-lapse tool changes in the mouth. So if things are starting to get worse, or we want to educate parents on how the mouth has changed, we now have, again, that younger generation, they love this stuff. So they definitely get out their phones and they share that, these people, like, they care, they're doing something that really shows me about my mouth that I never got to see before. So it just creates a whole energy and a trust, like I say, with the patient. So you don't really have to, talk about the product. You just talk about, it helps to educate on the problems, and then they really see what they need. And that's sort of an aside from digital smile design, because that's that next level. But even just that initial first appointment where we show them the scanner and show them their mouth, their digitalized mouth, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, perfect. I always mention with my patients, it's my PlayStation, iTero. It's something cool for them. Then they love the idea. They want to touch and they want to change the position. So it's very cool. And I would hate if the video interrupts, because we have 1 hour. In the middle of your sentence, it will be rude. So,
that's okay.
Peggy, final message for those who are at home, trying to improve themselves and trying to understand how to get back to the office better and stronger. What can you tell us? And then we are going to end this lovely conversation.
Well, the first thing I would say is we keep doing things like this. I mean, it's amazing. We have the time to share with one another. I've been on a few group chats, not live like this, but a few other things that we've been doing. I've been having Zoom call meetings with people, and just incredible, because we all realize we're going through this. It's stressful, but here's our opportunity to really learn and grow and make changes, because the world is going to be different after this, and we have to talk about it. And I think staying connected, and we're so very fortunate that we live in this time where we can be connected. So that's the first thing. And if anybody follows my social media, I'm also really big on trying to remember to, do your, we're getting cut off there. To exercise and sleep, and try to be very grateful for what we have. And I know that we will get through it, but we need to work together.
Yeah, thank you. We probably have about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So I really suggest for everyone to enter in the DSD website, the digitalsmartdesign.com, because there is a lot of information for those who want to know more about how to improve client experience, patient experience, value perception. There is a lot of valuable material there. So thank you so much for everyone
Thank you,
who
Daniel.
joined us today. I have a lot of friends that they don't even are dentists. They are supporting me here. So thank you for your participation. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Jesus. I hope to see you very soon. And I really believe that you are going to be stronger and better after this situation.
Oh, we
Okay?
will.
Bye-bye, guys.
Okay,
Thank you,
bye.
everyone. See you.